Welcome everyone to the Lofi Poli Sci podcast. I'm your host, Michael Pickering. That's right. Lo-fi as in low fidelity, low quality, in your face, messy as can be, global news show. Here we're going to talk about that famous question, what's going on in the world today, and it's Wednesday. Time for that lo-fi global news fresh off that press. Coming at us from the Africa section of the BBC. Niger suffers deadliest raid by suspected jihadist. Tragedy here, as on Sunday, in 3 separate towns in Niger, they were attacked by armed individuals on motorcycles, suspected to be part of the Islamic State of the Greater Sahara, and killed around 137 people. This is a serious reminder to all of us that ISIS and terrorism isn't gone from the world simply because it was mostly eradicated in Syria and Iraq, which there are still even pockets of it there. And the situation here in Niger is far more complicated than simply giving you a headline and an update. So this is definitely something we'll be talking about a lot more coming up soon. Because situations like this one here have major implications for the entire region of West Africa. And in fact, the entire world. Back to this topic soon, lo-fi listeners. Next up, source, Reuters, World News. No noises, only birds. Silent strike shuts Myanmar as prisoners freed. Developments and updates to the situation in Myanmar as hundreds of protesters and curfew violators have been released from prison. Though the exact number is not really known because the military, they haven't released any information on this. All the information we have comes from the lawyers of the opposition. And today was a day of silent protest in Myanmar, as protest leaders called for people to stay home, not to open businesses, and to make the country silent. Word is, it's the silence before the storm, as Thursday, new large-scale protests are being coordinated. Eyes open, ears to the ground, Lo-Fi Nation. Lots going down in Myanmar this week. Now, moving forward because we never move on from anything. Source, the world of the Associated Press. No clear winner in Israeli election, signaling more deadlock. Yesterday, the 4th election in 2 years took place in Israel, as the 4th coalition government failed in the same amount of time. And right now, things are close. Real close. With about 10 different political parties normally gaining representation in the Israeli parliament, a lot is riding on these elections. It's a fragile time for the country, as well as the region, with many dots to connect. More coming soon, listeners. And our following story comes from NPR World News. North Korea tests short-range missiles, but White House keeps doors open to talks. Remember last week how we said North Korea normally likes to give off a show of strength before coming to the political talking tables? Yeah, you could call firing short-range missiles a show of strength. We don't have more details on this yet, not even the types of missiles really. But the writing is on the wall, and it appears North Korea is gearing up to come back to the diplomatic table. We'll keep you updated as we know more for sure. And a last piece of news to send you on your way for the day, the science section of the BBC. Space debris removal. Demonstration launches. Okay, let's dig into this one here. I think everyone knows we have satellites in space that do so much for us. Internet, maps, cell phones, buku things. But what you may not know is that there's a lot of old satellites up there that don't do anything. In short, there's a ton of space trash in orbit around the Earth. The simple point, as more and more space trash orbits the Earth, the more likely it is that some of that trash runs into working satellites, and then really starts causing issues down here. But this isn't a new problem, and scientists have been working on trying to figure this out and how to clean up space for quite some time. And enter our story today. This is a cool lo-fi read, people. Check it out. How sciencey folk are working hard to clean up space by capturing debris using magnets, and then sending it back to Earth safely. That's some cool stuff out there. Thank you, sciencey folk. And it's a brief snapshot of what's going on in the world today. If you want to get our first written publication on Saturday, get at me. Do you have a top 10 list idea? Get at me. Do you want to share your good news? Get at me. Interested in being a co-host? Interested in the Flashcast, live stream, episode takeovers? Always remember that Lofi Poli Sci is more than just me. It's the we that we be. Peace and well-being to all my human beings out there. Much love and always the best. Pickering, signing off.